Kilburn may not be the most prestigious part of North London, but as it rubs shoulders with West Hampstead, St John's Wood and Maida Vale, it gains kudos from those areas. So buyers who hanker after the attractions of those places but can't afford it might well look to Kilburn instead.
7 minutes. That's all it takes to walk from the tube to the property I'm here to see. Not bad. So the lot has location on its side. But what about curb appeal? Well, mansion blocks aren't everybody's cup of tea, but this one, built in the 1930s, is really rather attractive. And inside waits a one-bedroom flat which had a guide price of £180,000.
The block rises from the ground rather like a grand old cruise liner. It's big and imposing and really rather impressive. Inside, well, it's certainly shipshape with gleaming polished brass, spotless stairs and a beautifully tended courtyard. The entrance to the flat is along an internal walkway.
The interior is certainly not as well maintained as the areas outside the property. You've got a bathroom to the left, a really nice reception area and a little seated area here, and the smallest kitchen I think I've ever seen. I mean, that is tiny. It certainly doesn't match the rest of the proportions in the property. You've got this nice little alcove area over here with a fire that I think was probably installed in the 30s. It's obviously an original piece, but it's going to have to go. A nice big window here letting lots of light through. You can see there's central heating. And the bedroom, bit of an odd shape, not huge. It's quite a strange one, this, because you have this very big space in the middle and these sort of two little rooms dotted at the end. I think I'd need to come in here and rearrange the space, maybe knock a wall down or two, but it's not bad.
I'm not sure what you can do about the size of the bedroom. Get rid of some of those built-in cupboards for sure, but I think you're stuck with the proportions of that room. Still, on the subject of bedrooms, I think there's a way of squeezing a bit more out of this space.
Now, it may not be the biggest flat in the world, but in London, believe it or not, it's certainly big enough to consider turning this into a 2-bed. Now, the best, perhaps the only way to do this is to move this kitchen into the living room and make this into a kitchen, living, diner all in one. And you could make the kitchen and this seating area over here the second bedroom. Now, that would increase the rental return for sure, but I think it's in the resale you could really see the return. Now, it could add as much as 30 grand onto the value. In fact, bearing in mind that high guide price and the state of this flat, I would go as far as saying that making the change is an absolute must and perhaps your only way to make some instant profit.
The guide price on this property was 180 grand, which isn't far off what a fully renovated 1-bedroom in this block goes for. So as far as I can see, it's 2 bedrooms or bust. And if you cast your mind back to that beautifully maintained courtyard, there's some important information to consider when you're doing your sums.
Buying in a beautifully managed block like this one means that you have to contribute to the upkeep in the form of service charge. It's something that's often overlooked, but you can be asked to pay up to £1,000 or more per year, especially if the blocks have lifts to maintain, roofing issues or gardens to tend to. Here, I'm afraid to say, it's more than that. In fact, it's triple that at £3,000 per year. Ouch! Do the maths. It's a whopping 250 quid per month to find on top of your mortgage, or £250 less you're going to get in rental returns. Now, the gardens may look pretty, but all of this loveliness comes with a pretty hefty price tag.
It does sound a lot, but since that 3 grand also goes towards paying for gas and electricity, then it could be worth paying if you're going to live here. But as an investor, it's not money I would see back in terms of rental returns and could make the flat hard to sell. It's a tricky one. So with a guide price of 180,000, I asked a local estate agent what he thought.
My first impressions of the flat is it has a very large reception room. The bedroom is quite small, however there is an option to make a second bedroom within the living room.
So making it 2 bedrooms does seem like the best option, but how would the returns stack up? First, if rented out.
As a one bed, I think this property would rent out for approximately £900 per calendar month. As a two bed, this property would rent out for approximately £1,200 per calendar month.
What's the resale value for both these options?
The property would be worth approximately £200,000 as a refurbished one bedroom property. If this property was turned into a two bed, I would say the property would be worth around £225,000.
It seems there's a great flat here with potential, but it could be hard to make a profit.
This flat needs work. The margins are tight. So what happened? Let's find out.
One bedroom, first floor flat. Somebody want to start me off? 160. Thank you, 160 I've got. 165, 170, 175, 180, 185, 190, 191, 192, 192, 193, 194, 195, 196, 196, 197, 198, new place, 199, 200, okay, no survey, 200, 201, yeah, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, 206, 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, 212, no? With you again, 211 for the first, 211 for the second, 211 for the third, and final time, all done, sold 211.
That successful bid of 211,000, 30 grand over the guide price, came from Ziad, who bought the flat with his dad. I met up with him to find out his plans.
Ziad, lovely to meet you today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So why did you want to buy this property?
It's development, basically. As the market's quite bad, we think it's a good time to buy a property and do it up, and hopefully when the market picks up, we can sell it on for a bit of a profit.
So where did you spot this property? Was it in the auction catalogue?
It was in the auction catalogue, but I didn't actually see this property before I bought it. It was, we saw a couple of other properties which we were interested in the auction. They went for a lot more than we were expecting. And I knew this area. I knew this building, kind of. I mean, I've passed it before. So
you didn't have a chance to do any background sort of research on this at all?
No, not at all.
Did you even know the service charge on a property like this?
No, I didn't know.
Do you know the service charge now?
I do, yeah, but I don't know it off the top of my head right now because I haven't written it down. But it's not unreasonable.
Okay, well, I can tell you what the service charge is: £3,000 a year.
Yeah.
I think that's quite expensive, actually.
Well, for the area, no, it's not. For this area, for where it's located, for the kind of building it is, I think that's quite reasonable to pay. This is a development. We're going to do it up. We're going to sell the property on. So it's a cost that we have to incur for 1 year, maybe, but. Not for the... I'm not going to keep this property.
So it's do up and sell on for Ziad. He trained as a carpenter and is studying to be a construction manager, so is well placed for this project. He's got experience and know-how and was after a blank canvas. But does he know how to make money from this place?
This is a decent-sized one-bedroom property as it stands. How are you going to make the most out of this?
Well, I plan to extend the kitchen, make it bigger, and make that into a bedroom. And the kitchen will then move into the living room, and it'll be an open-plan kitchen living room.
So are you going to be taking that whole little seated area and using that whole space to create a bedroom?
Not the whole seated area. Part of it will be for the bedroom, part of it will be for the kitchen. So the kitchen will also be incorporated into the seating area.
Really?
Yes.
That's going to be one tiny bedroom. I would have thought you could have taken that whole space. That would be adequate for a bedroom. Why don't you use all of the space?
Well, we haven't got set plans, so that is an option. The only thing with that is if we use this whole space, the kitchen, where does that go? So
you see, this little alcove, I think is ideal for a little kitchen. You could put a few units, a little cooker. You could perhaps turn that into your kitchen space.
That's an option. That's an option that we could look at, because we haven't actually got any set ideas yet. We still have to speak to the freeholder, find out what we're allowed to do and what we can do. So, but that is an option.
This is a tricky one, but I'm glad Ziad sees that this is where the money's going to be made here. A second bedroom, however small, will immediately boost his potential profit.
So what sort of budget are you intending on spending on this?
We haven't done all the calculations for that yet, so we haven't got an exact budget. But I'm guessing it will take at least 20,000 to do everything properly. You know, the kind of projects I've done in the past, the standard that I've done, they're quite nice. So we don't want to do anything less than that.
Ziad's aim is to have the flat back on the market in 3 to 4 months, and he plans to give it a high-quality finish.
If you do a property up really well and you make it desirable for people, they will be willing to pay a market value for the area. I mean, we're in, you know, it's Kilburn, but we're just next to Maida Vale, St John's Wood. I think that will have an impact.
Ziad, congratulations. I really hope this works out for you and that you do sell this at a profit. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy.
There are a lot of question marks with Ziad's plans, and fair enough, he needs time to think. Find out how he gets on later on in the programme.